Hi, how you doing, Virgos? It's Laura Schwam here, and I am going to do a general message for you all. Now, those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. Anything that you need to know about what happens here in the channel, like what kind of readings I do and how to find me on my social media and about my subscription and all that jazz, you can find in the description box below. Okay. Now, know that also energy is fluid, so rules can be reversed, flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. All right. All right. Now, everybody that knows me knows that I like to always open up my readings by looking at the spiritual energy first. Why? Because again, your reading is going to change every single day, but guess what? Your spiritual wound stays the same until you heal it, until you integrate it. So we know that we live karmic themes, and karmic themes tend to play out as karmic cycles. So if we don't learn that, we again going to get that same situation again, which is what we don't want to do. So at least if you watch the channel, you'll be able to see how to integrate your spiritual wounds, turn them into spiritual gifts, because it's all about evolution. It's all about healing. And then, yes, of course, finding out whether or not our person is going to come back, whether or not what they're going to do, how we're going to act, how things are going to play out. You always want to know those things, but to understand why all those things happen is to understand the spiritual root of why those things are. And that's what the beginning of this reading is all about. All right. Compassion. Virgo, I feel like you're somebody that one of your spiritual lessons is to learn compassion. That's a spiritual thing that is difficult for you. Mainly because I feel like you grew up with someone that has that there's a lot of I want to say hostile energy, unresolved energy with. And this could be a parent, it could be a brother, it could be anyone in your life that you grew up with, that you were close with. And close, I mean intimately close, where they knew everything about you, which is telling me family. So one of the spiritual lessons is to learn the lesson of compassion. And because you grew up in an environment where manic can also come out as anxiety, is what goes along with bipolar disorder. So you had a parent that was bipolar, again, a brother or sister that was bipolar, and now you're in a relationship with someone that's bipolar. So it's again bringing up some sort of spiritual energy. And the spiritual energy is one that teaches us how to look at ourselves. And it's usually because, again, we don't like what's going on in our environment. And also because we're holding on to a cognitive dissonance where part of us, Joker card, part of us wants to be in the relationship, but part of us also knows how difficult this relationship is. And possibly because you have a wound there, and the spiritual lesson, the karmic theme is compassion, where you always feel like you need to be the compassionate one, and people aren't paying attention to your feelings. Because again, when we have bipolar, a lot of times what goes along with that is narcissism behavior, and which goes along with this manic, this controlling energy. I'm feeling it again, which always tended to leave you in victim mode, which means, Virgo, you have to find your balance with whoever you're dealing with, to not give all your energy away. The Virgos can tend to be very highly sensitive people and tend to overgive to the point that they abandon themselves. They abandon their needs, which is why they become a victim. So when we are connected to someone that is bipolar, or again has that manic energy next to it, it's very sporadic energy. It's almost where you're connected to a person that doesn't think about the consequences. So I was feeling a lot of reckless energy that goes along with this victim state. So this is why it's important. So now, if you're in separation, Virgo, with someone, it's not to be overly compassionate where you lose yourself because this person is coming in like a racehorse, because manic is that. Otherwise, you're going to be victim. That's the energy. That's the spiritual message that I'm being told right off the bat. So you're in connection with someone that you're being made to be compassionate with, and maybe you don't want to be compassionate with. I'm going to look at your energy. I'm feeling like a lot of times when we get that, it's heavy energy, and it's just we don't want to do a victim. So it's getting this card again. So look, that's victim. So I feel like there's a little bit of mirroring energy going on right now where you feel as if you're the victim and you're connected to someone that's also feeling like a victim. Now, you feel as if you're a victim because of how they're treating you. They feel as they're a victim because of their life situations, and again, the fact that you're not overly giving to them. So there's a sense again that they're expecting you to be really compassionate when they do come in very like hostile and overly emotional, and because first of all, they're not in a good way. Second of all, and that's the energy there. I don't know what's happening, but that there a separation and they're feeling like a victim because of whatever situation that they've been in. And they also feel victimized by you because you're not overly giving them. So the situation really is looking at you and them, not looking at what has transpired to them. We'll get into that later. But the energy between you and this person is that you're both mirroring each other because neither one of you are talking to each other. Neither one of you want to budge, and neither one of you are happy at the fact that you're not talking. Now, I'm not saying that you should cave to your person or that you shouldn't, but this is the energy there. That's why it's almost like you're in a Mexican standstill. No one's moving. Insecure, afraid of losing what you have, not feeling safe in your life. Your strength is your faith. So I feel as if you are not, Virgo, you are not extending the olive branch because you don't want to lose what you have. Um, Again, there's this reckless energy attached to the person that you're connected to, and where I feel like they're going to try to like rush in to you, but you're not secure in their relationship because they haven't given anything. They've been in victim consciousness because they expected you to give to them, but your person is insecure, which is also making you feel insecure. So this is how the mirroring is going on. So even though you may be on a higher vibration in the fact that you're not triggering your person to feel all these things, which I feel like your person is on a lower vibration because that is what they normally do to intimidate people to get what they want. So they're not getting what they want. So they feel insecure, and they were doing it because they were felt insecure. But now they feel even more insecure because you're not giving them anything. But understand, now you also feel insecure. So really, the spiritual law tells us that no one can make us feel any which way. We make ourselves feel a certain way because we have a wound, and that wound came way before we met our person, many times. So what I'm seeing is that there's a mirroring going on all through this. So you're in separation with someone that you care about. I don't know what your person's situation is. We'll get into that later. As far as right now, the story between you and them are that you both feel victimized. They expect you to be compassionate towards them because of their situation. You're expecting them to be compassionate towards you, towards the fact that they haven't given you, that you're not around, that they're not talking to you. You feel as if you're the victim. They feel like they're the victim. but it's a different level of consciousness. Your person's used to people like running to them, and you're used to people not giving you anything. So this is actually playing out a karmic theme. And that karmic theme for you, Virgo, is that emotionally you never get what you want and need. So what you did is good when you separated from this person, because they need to really come up to your level. They really need to raise their vibration, right? Because it's like they're like expecting you to like do all the chasing, do all the work, fix everything. Because again, that's just, it makes them feel comfortable, it makes them feel safe, but then they don't grow. And you're supposed to be compassionate, but then you're saying, well, you're not compassionate to me, you haven't been here for me. You both feel victimized. So, and understand that's a karmic theme that both of you have had before you met each other. Out of tune in your own world, rebel without a cause. You don't have to be alone. So again, I believe that your person, again, because they are staying in victim mode, they're deliberately just not reaching out. And I also believe that you also just aren't reaching out. But the difference is, I believe that, Virgo, you are working on your life, where your person is kind of stuck in the muck because they need to raise their vibration. So you, instead of being there, giving this person the compassion and the love, you're giving yourself the love and the compassion, which is exactly what you're supposed to do, which actually helps you raise your vibration. But because your person refuses to heal, because the only way that they could heal was to actually learn to be compassionate towards you and stop being so selfish. Because understand, they're in victim mode because of what their life, and but they haven't been around. They haven't been around for you. So again, but everybody feels the same way, but for different reasons. One more. Confronting, lashing out at others. Everyone is the enemy, working on anger issues. So there's a sense, again, that you both have to be careful that if you bump into each other, if your person reaches out to you, Virgo, that you don't rip their head off. Because understand, a lot of times we stay in this energy because we're so angry that we're not willing to look at the other person's perception. We're not willing to look at the other person's situation because we're so hurt at how they treated us. And that's truthfully what I feel. I feel as if your person had to deal with whatever they had to deal with. But look shortly. But that's not the meat and the potatoes of what happened. The meat and the potatoes is this, that you are in separation with your person. But both of you people do care. There are feelings. However, I believe that you approach life much differently and due to circumstances. So it's again, karmic tend to be codependent. And so codependent is where, two people believe they need each other on some level. So I believe that your person is used to codependent relationships where don't really have a codependent relationship, but emotionally you never get what you need. So both people are playing out their karmic theme through each other, how each of you are interacting with each other, which is creating a lot of triggers. Because again, there's a sense of you need to look at how you treated me, and your person saying, no, you need to look at what I went through. And so until both parties look at the situation from the other person's point of view, you'll stay blocked, you'll stay triggered. And that is, again, no one wants to be in a relationship where they're continuously triggered. It creates a lot of drama. It creates a lot of, no, you need to look at things from my way. No, you didn't treat me well. You didn't care about me. It's, you should have done this for me. You should have So this expectation. But if it's a soulmate twin flame, that they represent unconditional love. Soulmate is unconditional love. That's that familiarity. That's why the person feels like home, because there is unconditional love. But if we're continuously being triggered by the person, and now we want to confront them and tell them how they were wrong, how they did X, Y, and Z wrong, and we want to tell our side of the story, and we want to like confront it, because it can seem like as if your person wants to confront you to tell you everything that they need to tell you because they feel uncomfortable. They don't realize that they feel uncomfortable not so much because they didn't treat you well, because they refuse to look at things from your perception. And I believe that that's also for you. You don't feel well either because you don't put yourself in that person's shoes. And you could be like, well, they did a lot of stuff to me. Doesn't matter. When we're in a relationship with someone, they're going to fuck up. They're going to make mistakes. Everybody does. The issue is we need to learn how to forgive. And that's not going to be through confronting and playing the victim and being like, you need to see my way. No, 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 you need to see my way. We need to bring in compassion. And compassion is just being able to see things from a different perception. Okay, so mask. I got tired of the mask you wore and decided to expose all your lies. So I believe, again, if you don't handle this nicely and you proclaim to be a very spiritual person, they're going to say that you're wearing a mask. I believe also that you believe that if they don't, like vice versa, like both parties will be triggered to expose each other. And that's because there's when we feel as after a while when a person that we're really connected to, because we have a soul connection to them, and we see that they're not changing and or even willing to compromise or see the situation through our perception, when we have that and then it triggers us, we pull in other people. And we pull in other people to get almost like to be like, look, I'm going to get validation. I'm going to get validation why you're wrong. I'm going to get validation on why you need to change. And this is, again, we're still in a resistant mode. So we have two people here that are playing the victim that both want compassion. But it's, again, there isn't any real compassion. There's just, I want things to be my way. And this is how like these soul wounds play out. And this is what creates all the triggers. Accountable. All the blame fell on me and no accountability on your end. I had enough. So it's, again, there's that though you need to take responsibility. You need, no, you need. So both parties are like, again, stuck in this accountability and now I'm going to prove to you why you're wrong. No, now I'm going to prove why you're wrong. It's the relationship is not going to go well. If you're in separation and you're looking to get back together again, it's this crazy energy is what your person is bringing to the table. And it's mainly because they are desperate. There's a sense of there's a lot of fear. When I tap into them, I feel, again, they're being triggered abandonment issues because they really truly have created a soul bond to you and they feel like you're leaving them. You're leaving them behind. And you're leaving them behind because they're not changing. But there's a sense of if they change, then they're weaker. There's a sense of almost like they lose their identity or that fake identity, which is that mask. And so what you're doing is you're going to be like, I'm going to make you take that mask off because it's like you pretend to be so tough. You pretend to care. You pretend to do, but I'm going to hold you accountable to like do what you need to do. So again, there's a lot of forcing here. And we can see how like everyone would get triggered in this situation. Blamed. So it's again, it's the same thing. It's like all the words are the same. It's so funny. It's like blamed. It's like I got tired of taking all the blame when it wasn't my doing. Take responsibility for your actions. Accountable. All the blame fell on me. No accountability on your end. And then we had victim. And then we had we had another victim. And then it's like, okay, now I'm going to confront you. And then it's like, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to confront you. Again, Matt coming in with this manic energy. Why? Because everyone's insecure in the situation. It's triggering a lot of wounds. And it's, again, out of tune. Like we're like not like reading each other, we're triggering each other with like where this is when there's a lot of resistance. We're holding a cognitive dissonance. I want to be with you and I love you, but it's like I can't be with you because it's like I can't find it in my heart to be compassionate towards you because you're not looking at how you treat me. So both parties are going back and forth with this energy. No you, no you, no you, no you. So it's not a good thing. Not a good thing. But maybe we'll post some love because again, oh, let's look at some hidden truths. Let's look at some hidden truths before we look into love. Because even though this again is playing out like this, I always say, it doesn't mean that there's no love there. A lot of times there is love. It's just this is what a wound is. It's I don't want to change. No, you don't want to change. Both parties want to hold all the power, and that's why you admit to me that you're wrong. No, you need to look at how you treated me. No, you need it. It's the illusion that if someone loves you, that they're just gonna know how to treat you all the time. That they're so connected to you. You're like they're so connected to me. I feel like they feel like home, but then they treat me like that. So it's because there's psychological wounds. So let's look at some hidden truths. I regret lying to you. Of course, because like now this is why there's this resistance. And there's resistance because you don't trust the person. So again, you don't trust the person, not necessarily because they go around lying, but because they avoid. Avoid is a sense of again lying, like that there's a sense of you're supposed to love me unconditionally, and whatever it is that you're doing, you're treating me exact opposite. So what happens is the person does lie because they don't feel safe. So there's a lot of mirroring even going on. Well, you don't make me feel safe because this is what you do. You hide. You don't communicate. You play games. And then they say, well, I lied because you don't make me feel safe. You make me feel insecure. There's a lot of pointing fingers. That's all that I keep seeing. And all really like that's what happens when we love someone too and we want to be with them. We just want to keep the peace. We lie. And that's how the relationship begins to deteriorate. I left you before you could leave me. So again, here's this sense of you hurt me, no, you hurt me, no, but they lied. So I'm feeling as if you had a connection with someone that came in and there was a deep connection, again, soul connection, but they weren't 100% free. Maybe they were again still connected some to a past relationship, but it's again, they weren't 100%. There was energy, unresolved energy. And I don't feel like they were 100% done with that relationship, but they came in pretending that they were. And so they played a lot of games and they did lie, but they were done with that. They were done emotionally with that relationship. They just didn't verbally 100% express it because, again, I feel like your person, did the easy way out for them, which is why they never really gave as much. So again, which it worked for them because if you never give that much, it keeps the people that they're connected to, right? Insecure because here there's this intense connection of love when there is a soulmate, any type of soulmate, there's an instantaneous the person feels like home. However, they how the person had behaved and they again never wanted everything their way. They got their brain was distorted. Why? Because they were in a connection with someone else. That they were not loveless, but they were I mean not that passionate love. I shouldn't say not they loveless because I'm sure that there was love there, just not passionate, where it became humdrum, boring. If anything, your person like loves them because it's maybe they have kids together, maybe they've been together for a long time, but it's almost like, but they don't appreciate them, they don't respect them, they don't want to really be with them. And I think that they were confused between love and guilt, to be honest with you, if I could dig deep. But nevertheless, they were still connected to someone else that was taking care of them, that was giving them emotionally so they could keep everyone insecure. And so they feel bad about that. That's why they're coming in manic, but they're still coming in manic, like almost like confronting the situation with, which is you made me feel like this, you should be here. And then you're like, well, this is why you made me feel. No, you need to take accountability. No, you need to take accountability. So it's again where I see it from your perspective on how what they did. Your person needs to raise their vibration. And you need to understand that it's again that sometimes a person can look like they're on a certain vibration and then not. And so a lot of times we find out why we wind up with certain people in our life. See what the actual wound is here. Inconsistent, yeah, because I believe your person like breadcrumbed you, like, and that's what happens because they had a connection at home, but they were not really again, in love. And so what happens is they can get a lot of time away, but then they can't really give you that much energy too, because then they will form an emotional connection with you. And then if that happens, then they would eventually want to leave that situation. So um, they were inconsistent, unreliable, and also like I feel like emotionally manipulative, to be honest with you. Okay, and then dutiful, giving too much to others. So again, they expected you to give again, to be dutiful to them, to like to overgive to them. That's what they wanted you to do. That's what they were used to doing. You didn't do it, and it's a good thing that you didn't. Haunted, steps towards your fear. If the past doesn't define you, it's okay to get help. So I feel as if like there's a part of you that is haunted now, Virgo, but from this relationship, because it's like there's still a sense of this deep connect and never experienced someone that you were so deeply connected to, but then that they would hurt you. There's a sense of, again, like almost like a trauma created from that. And that's when we, again, like feel haunted by something, the memory of it. And so we have to be careful that we don't bring it into our next relationship, because this relationship doesn't define all relationships. Understand, you recognize how a person is giving. If a person emotionally isn't giving you enough and they're not tapped in to emotionally giving you enough, then there is counterfeit. They may be coming on lust, like all lust and passionate, here for a here for a short time, here for a good time, not a long time. So again, there's a lot of passion coming in fast, like manic is what I kept saying, but I feel like you're not going to go for it. too. So you don't go for it because this person hasn't hasn't been accountable in your life. But there's a sense of that you still care deeply about this person and still are connected, and that's why you're haunted. Okay, flighty. Don't give up too soon. Be willing to commit. Embrace what you have. So again, don't stop dating. I would say, like, be interactive. This isn't the end of, again, your dating career. I know it's hurtful when it's a soulmate and it doesn't play out, but your person is connected to someone else that they don't really want to be with, but it's just easier for them to stay in that. Okay. And that's a shame for them because they'll never really understand what love is. And that's, they'll never really experience it. It'll always be superficial. Okay, let's look at some love messages. And I know, like, love after that, but sometimes, again, believe it or not, they do have. You know what? I want to use a different deck in actuality. I want to use the Soulmate Twin Flame deck, and then I'm going to close it out with the Karma deck. I'm just curious. I want to see, even though, like you said, and you see a lot of trauma, like my way, no, my way, no, my way. But two people are like stuck together. It's almost like a karmic cord, like a psychic cord. And a psychic cord that's negative because both parties won't let go, but they're held together by anger almost and mirroring each other's energy. That's the energy that I see there. Not good. Okay. And then I can't go against my family. I let them have too much control over me. I'm stuck now. See, didn't I say that, again, the person that they're connected to, they don't love, but there's a weird obligation there. It's like codependency. And so they would go out and cheat and they would get their needs met from other people. They never expected to fall so deep. They never had a connection like yours before. They never experienced such a deep and profound love before, which happens with soulmate twin flame relationships. And that happens when change is about to happen in two people's life, when we meet our soulmate twin flame. So your person, that love, that passion that they feel is scared. Your person that to live like this, they're shut off. They're not in love with the person. They've learned to, like, yeah, I've been with you for a long time, so I love you because of everything you have done for me. But I'm not feeling like they're not a match, and I don't really feel like they ever were a match. So I feel like that this could be a relationship that started because someone got pregnant, that there was some sort of thing, like almost like a karmic contract. So they've had to learn to, like, live detached. And then here you come along and they have such strong feelings and they're so used to everybody catering to them. And then you don't do it because you're like, well, you're connected to someone else. So there's a sense of your person, like, really needs to look at things from your perspective. And it's a good thing that you didn't. You honored yourself here. And that's why they're even more fucked up. And because it's, again, they have such strong feelings and you, like, laid a boundary and you made them look at their life. So what they're seeing is their life is okay that way. Like, they thought that they were living okay. Maybe they have a lot of money, they have a great job, and so they get to do whatever and date 1,000 different people, and it's superficial, and they can stay in that loveless marriage. But now, since they met you, they're like, I never experienced this whole thing has fucked my life up, because now it's like, can I even go back to the way that I am? So they're afraid to make the change. However, it's like the thought of you still haunts them. So there's a mirroring all through this. Like, again, we saw victim, we saw victim, we saw accountability, and haunted, where you're like, what you did to me, I feel haunted, because that's the energy I felt first, Virgo. But really, you make the energy of you haunts them. because they didn't take action. It's like they don't know if they'll ever be the same after this. And this, you challenge me in ways that make me grow, even though it's difficult. I know it's right. So again, exactly what soulmate twin flame does. Okay, it pulls out our wounds. It pulls out all. It makes us become accountable. It makes us look at life differently, because again, there is unconditional love. That's why there's a sense of this push pull, like, no, it's my way, no, it's my way, no, you should love me, no, you should have changed, you should have done this, you should have acted this way, no. And both parties are mirroring each other, and it's creating a lot of like sexual tension, but it's also creating a lot of, that angry passion, because there is love, there is whatever, but eventually someone's going to break. And really, I would think that it's your person, Virgo, because they're in the loveless marriage. That one just popped out, so let's just see what that is. Okay, union is an energy, not a physical construct. Even when we aren't together, I feel our union. So again, your person has realized like the depth of this connection, regardless of the fact of how difficult it is. Like again, soulmate twin flame, they're a bitch relationship, because there's such deep passion and love, and the person makes you feel like home, but they're doing everything, especially if they're on a different vibration. And I feel like your person needs to raise their vibration, because again, they were in a loveless marriage. They shut their heart. They shut their heart down, because that's the only way that they could live and stay connected to that. But then every single other person that they would go out and meet, they were able to get their needs met, but they never had to look at anyone else's needs. Now with you, you were like, no way. And you've made them look not just at themselves, and not just the way that they treated you, but about their life. Which, so it's again, it's profound. And even though you guys aren't together, there's still again a lot of unconditional love. That energy never gets broken. And that is what's really bugging your person's mind out, because they didn't think that they could feel love, because again, they've lived detached for so long. So we're going to leave it there, Virgo. If you resonate with this message, let me know. Leave me a like, comment. Again, if you comment the word psychic healer in the comment bar and you resonated with this message, I will, and if I choose you again, which I'm brand new, so the chances are good if you, again, watched it to the end. If you write psychic healer in the comment bar, you can win a free psychic reading with me. And you'll know, because I'll write winner underneath your comment, because you'll write, again, psychic healer in your comment bar. And then we will figure out a good time that works for both of us. If you just email me at pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com. Again, that's pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com. Okay, if you guys are interested in learning how to heal your shadow, how to heal the shadow aspects of yourself, again, these are the spiritual blocks, the wounds that turn into our sabotaging behaviorisms, the core beliefs that shape our core beliefs, that actually is what shapes our life and our life experiences. If you want to learn how to heal your spiritual wounds, the shadow part of self, you might want to check out my Psychic Soul Healer Oracle system. You can find it by going to my website, Pure Energy Healer, or you can find it by going on Amazon. I have an Amazon store. All links will be found in the description box below. All right. Thanks for watching. And until next time, be true to you. Bye.